Because
Yeah, but the concern is, or the problem is that some of the individuals that are saying that to us, and the individuals that are saying that to you, are the ones that won't come in front to say it. That's the problem. And that's what we're going to deal with forever in this community, is that we're going to have the anonymous people, or somebody in one ear saying one thing and somebody in the other ear. Which direction are you going to go? For us, I said I'd like to have anybody come on here, and on the opposite side of that don't agree with what's going on, but a lot of people are saying they're afraid of reprisal. You know, it's like the anonymous, I'm making a phone call on my neighbor, I'm gonna stay anonymous because I don't want somebody to retaliate against me. So we're in that situation. It's sort of like an intimidation one way or the other. It's either if the council system is doing it or if somebody else is, but nobody wants to come forward and do it. And that would be the best, is to have a community meeting where people actually sit down or discuss these issues, but the chances of that happening, you know.
But I have a question, since the show is called On the Record, I guess it's basically for you now, Mike, since I'm gonna ask you the question. Do you agree with what we're doing? Your honest opinion, do you agree that
Personally,
do you agree that non-natives should be allowed to live here?
Personally, I agree with what you're doing.
Okay.
Process-wise, and I've said it before, I don't agree with the process, but I agree with how it's being, like what's been happening. Personally, I shouldn't say that because I shouldn't have an opinion one way or another.
But I asked you and you were man enough to answer it.
But I shouldn't have an opinion one way or another.
why? You're a community member, and that's the
I
thing,
know,
is
but
that
you see,
everybody has
but
a voice.
I know, but I'm here, I don't want individuals in the community who don't agree with this to not come to us and to talk to us because of that. And we're open to everybody, and our doors never shut, whether it's somebody that's on the left side or the right side. I never want our company to close the door, and we never will. We'll always give everybody an opinion. You know, they say, well, I want to go talk to him, but he doesn't agree with me anyway. So, and that's not true. The process, it's difficult because I think that there needs to be more, and I'll leave it at that. Without going into all the details, we talked about some of them, so.
And the thing is that the ones that are against really don't ever have any recommendation of how it could work otherwise. So, you know, that's something we have to look at as a community. Okay, well, if we're not doing the right thing, then what are your suggestions that we could do it better, or however you think it should be addressed if we're not doing it process-wise the right way? Offer those suggestions.
I guess they're looking at their leaders, or, you know, the individuals, and saying that, you know, you come up with the answers for us, like always.
We're doing our best. I'm doing my best anyway on it. I mean,
well, once again, I thank you both for coming here. It's a touchy issue, and it's gonna be continue for a long time to come. It's not going away. You know, there's 23, there's 7 more, there's probably more that come in the future. We hope to have you back.
just if I can say something fast, I know there's going to be future guests on this issue in the future. And the first thing I said when I sat at the council table was, I made 11 new friends, and I'm going to back them up and support them whenever they need me to. And I hope in the future that, not saying that you will, is going to trash the current council, because if you're trashing them, that means you're trashing me, and then I might have a problem with that. So let's try and avoid that.
I call the council to task. I don't trash you.
Okay.
Because it's a tough job, regardless of who's in there and how active or non-active you're going to be. But at the end of the day, you were voted in by community members, not all of it, but some of the community members, and it's the community calling you to task and saying, okay, now you're in there, stand up and let's move somewhere, you know. Do something, even if it's wrong, do something. So, thank you very much again. You've been watching On the Record. If you have any questions or comments surrounding this show, call Horn. No, you can email us at mohawktv@hotmail.com or call us at 450-632-NEWS. That's 450-632-6397. Weganawaga, and welcome to the continuing episode of On the Record. I'm your host, Michael Stock. In studio, we have community member Darryl Leclerc. Good afternoon, Darryl.
Good afternoon.
We're continuing our segment of membership and the letters that were given out to community members or to non-natives via community members. Earlier, we had Chief Carl Horn and Gasanahawi Sky Deer, and we discussed some of the situation with you, as well as all the other individuals in the community who received letters recently.
Right.
And actually, there's, just for some information for you, there's 7 more that are probably going to go out sometime this week. So that's 7 more people that may or may not be in your situation. So, Daryl, you're here because Carl Horn hand-delivered a letter to you for an individual who Mohawk Council claims is a non-native living in your residence.
Exactly.
So, what happened?
Well, as you said, I was approached by Carl Horn, and he asked me, do you know this person? And he mentioned her very specific name. And I told her, I do. I've been friends with her for a number of years. And, we started, like, talking and running through the back of my mind. It was like, is he really about to ask me what I think he's going to ask me? Sure enough, he came out, well, we've received a complaint that she's living with you. And I told him on the spot, it's just not true, Carl. I've told you, I've known her many, many years. We're close, but she's not a girlfriend of mine. She's not a roommate of mine, not a spouse. She's nothing in that sense to me.
How did that make you feel, though? I mean, they're accusing you of something that you weren't even aware of.
Right. I mean, I guess at the moment I was kind of like, this is stupid. But I guess I had a certain amount of faith at that point in time to say, well, I'm going to get my shot to, clarify the situation, and it's going to be done like that. Did not happen that way.
I asked Carl because there was mention about no community member had received a letter. And when I spoke to you earlier today, you had told me that on the envelope it said attention to yourself.
Right. Well, the letter had her name as the sticker, and there was a little Post-it note on top saying, "Attention, Daryl Leclerc."
Oh, and then that Post-it was on it when you received it?
It was.
Okay, so maybe it was an oversight that wasn't removed, but according to Carl, that he said he would have to see the envelope, that your name wasn't on it. So if there was a Post-it, maybe it was an oversight or an overlook. The only reason why I'm bringing that up is because not only did Carl, but Lloyd Phillips went on television and said that no community member received a letter. And technically, if it has attention to anybody in the community, right, you received a letter. So that's the only point that I wanted to make as far as that was concerned, because right, all the letters were supposed to just go to
and in my discussions with Carl, I never really had the illusion that the letter was in her name. I had the illusion the letter would be in my name. You've been accused of having, is this person living with you? We've got a complaint that you are living with this person. And so when he told me that there was a letter, I never thought to ask, well, whose name is on it? So I said, well, give it to me then, Mm-hmm. And so he gave it to me. I told him at the time, I'm like, and he told me, if you want to clear your name, the way you do it is, provide documentation, give us a T4 with her name on it, showing what her address is. And I told him she lives in Lachine. Provide us, a T4 with her name on it, tax return.
But how would you have access to somebody else's tax returns or T4s?
Well, phone bill, anything, I would have to ask her for it.